Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage we're doing another Secrets of the XK8, and this is another variation on opening that boot lid. Hi all! So back in the garage, and we've covered many times the various techniques for getting into your boot lid or trunk if you're in the States. And the challenge with the XK8 is it has a genuinely secure boot and the battery is stored in the boot. So obviously locks and systems can fail, so Jaguar built in their fail-safe in terms of the boot releases electrically. If you've got an earlier car, the release for the boot or trunk is just that button. If you have a later car, there is an equivalent button here on a little plinth with Jaguar's head on it that does exactly the same thing, and you can get into your boot or trunk. But batteries go flat, and in our cars the battery is stored below the surface there. So if it's trapped in there, how on earth do you open the boot? Well, the answer is behind the XK8 badge you have your secret keyhole, and we've covered that in its many permutations many times, so I'm hoping we all know about it. However, some people go to their secret keyhole when the need is there and it doesn't work. And this is another reminder that go check your secret keyhole right now. If you can't open the car using that, then address the situation right now, because it's never one that you want to find a problem when you need it. However, in the last month alone, I've had a few questions from people who have had issues, and you can be scrupulous with your keyhole and you can have checked it and everything else, but occasionally, you know, keys get lost, cables get broken, mechanisms get stuck, etc, etc. And they want to know about the battery's flat, I need to get into the boot, how do I do it? And the answer to that is where I'm going to share this secret today. I don't think it's a huge secret, but if you've never been shown, it can be a little bit counterintuitive, and it comes with a huge caveat. So listen carefully and right to the end of what I'm about to say. If your battery's flat and you want to open it electrically using the button on the dashboard or the button on the back of the car, or using that button on the remote control for that matter, then you need an alternate way of getting power into the car. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to need a good earth point, and your earth point is this bolt. So just pull the rubber cap off, if indeed your car's still got its rubber cap, and using either a jump lead, or as I'm going to demonstrate with a lead for a trickle charger, make sure you've got a good solid connection on there. Then you're going to need a positive input to your car. So we've got this one main fuse box under the bonnet, and just to orientate people, if I take the top off there, that's the one that's got your relays laid out in a T shape and the majority of your fuses. You have access to this peg, and it's got a rubber bung over it, or it should have, and if it hasn't, please insulate it. And under there you have your positive connection, and you put your positive jump lead onto there, being 100% sure that your leads or your crock clips or your clamps or whatever you choose to use aren't going to make any contact with the tower or the negative lead. Now, in my example, I would now plug in to this little connector a trickle charger, a low powered battery charger, plug it in, and then I'll be able to operate my boot I would leave it about 5 minutes just to allow things to come to life a little bit. But in theory, at least, as soon as there's power here, should be able to open. You'll be using the dashboard button, the remote control button, or the button on the rear plinth if you have one. If you're doing this with jump leads, exactly the same process, but on the outside of the car, you're obviously going to have your spare Jag battery, as I do, and you're going to connect up your leads to a battery down here somewhere. And it's always good practice to connect your positives first. So I would connect positive to positive and negative to negative. And when that's all sorted out, go and open your boot. Now here's the huge caveat. Don't overlook this or think I'm being paranoid. Do not try to start your car whilst you're rigged up in this way. It's possible you'll get away with it, but there are many people on this channel who ask me questions after the fact and say, I managed to get my car jump started so that I could open the doors, went to start it and there's absolutely nothing, so there's something else wrong. What's happened is you fried the electrics in your Jag. You can hope you've popped a load of fuses and shorted out a few relays, but there's a really good chance that the ECU that is underneath there has also been damaged. Reason is, for the starter motor to receive the big amps where it needs, it can't take them from the battery because it's dead. You've given it an external battery with plenty of amps and connected it to this. The earth that you're using is no different to using the earth in the boot or trunk that the battery actually uses when it's starting the car. However, this cable is not rated for that amperage, and the current is just as likely to go that way through various circuits to try and find its way to the right place. So as soon as you turn that key to start, you probably won't even hear a click. That'll just be it, fried. So it's an emergency charging point, but I would only use it as an emergency open the boot to charge your battery, because if you charge off this, then you have a decent chance of forgetting and going to start the car to see if it's charged up. So be very, very cautious. You can actually fit trickle charger points to this and mount them up here and all sorts of good stuff. And again, if all you're doing is trickle charging the battery, you're going to be absolutely fine. But once you get into trying to start the engine with a flat battery, then you're going to fry stuff. You might get away with it with a car that's on trickle charge and therefore has a good battery well charged in the boot at the moment that you throw the key. Then the balance of voltage is likely to come from the back and you might get away with it, but just don't. So that's it. You can always get into the boot as long as the electrics work, even if the batteries are flat, using this. And if the electrics don't work and the battery's flat, don't panic, because you've got your mechanical override using a key that goes in a secret keyhole that for almost everybody out there is going to be there. On mine it's here. That's just an idiosyncrasy of my car, not anybody else's that I'm aware of. Turn that and the boot opens. So go check that works now, because that is your override. If it doesn't open, blow air in, use contact cleaner in there. It's probably because it's dirty. The green key will not open your trunk or boot. So if you only have a green key, you don't have an override. And occasionally people have keys which may be black, but they've been incorrectly cut, and because nobody ever tries them in the boot, they'll never know until it's too late. And the difference is the tip of the key has been narrowed. There are two little steps, a step on either side of the key at the tip. That means the very tip wedge-shaped part is not quite as wide as the rest of the key. Now, an inexperienced key cutter who doesn't know Tibby keys and doesn't know Jaguar and its valet system may not have noted that, and therefore may not have copied it onto your key. Therefore, it won't open the trunk or boot. Valet keys don't have that step. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.